Good morning, Sea Mills Primary School. It's Reverend John here, and we're going to be thinking today, we're going to have a school assembly as we think about the role of community. It's been a bit strange, hasn't it? Not being able to gather together, and we're here outside the primary school. It's really cool that some of our buildings are starting to open now. And it's great for those of you who've been able to make it back. But I know certainly for a lot of us, for our schools and even our churches, still we can't gather back as we'd like to. So what I'd like to do is to show you, we're going to have a little bit of a tour inside St. Edyth Church. And we celebrated St. Edyth's being 90 years old a year and a half ago. So we're going to take a walk now and have a look and think about the building. So let's have a go. So we're going to have a walk down here. And of course, everyone knows this, don't they? This is the pharmacy. And we're going to come up here, and there's the church. You can see the church from absolutely everywhere in Sea Mills. It's quite amazing. I'm going to go to the front of it now. I'm going to have a look and see. And there's a clue to the age of the church. It says on the front here, it was consecrated in 1928. So let's have a look. Fantastic. Let's see what you can see here walking up. There we go. What does it say there? Well, it says, to the glory of God. Can you see the date there? Really old when this was built. 4th of December, 1926. So I'm trying to do some quick maths now. 2020 to 1926. That is going to be 100 years old in 5.5 years' time. Let's move around here. So you can see we've got our banner there. Can you zoom into that? And you can see that we are not able to gather actually in person at this time, but we can, I'll just zoom back out, meet on our online service there. And so we meet at 10:30 every Sunday morning. And if you click that link, and we can all say hi to each other. And we can also, if you YouTube St. Edyth Church, we can see all of our services we've actually had to record. Now, can you think of what it would have been like to build this that many years ago? It's a pretty impressive building, and the architect was called Sir George Oakley, and he also designed, if we look this way, he also designed, can you see there's a church there, right the other end of the square, there's a church poking out through there by the cafe on the square, and that's the Sea Mills Methodist Church. And the same architect built that as well, and he also built an amazingly impressive building called the Wills Memorial Building at the top of Park Street. Now in 1918, did you know there were only 2 houses in Sea Mills? There was the Sea Mills Farm, and then there was a carter's cottage, and they were surrounded by fields. And in 1921, a man called Sir Thomas and Lady Edyth Leonard gave this site to the church, and that's why it's called St. Edyth, because that was the name of his wife. So that's a nice memory for her. Now we're going to make our way into the building. Now, I haven't been here in quite some time. We're thinking about how do we open this as a safe place, because we really miss worshipping together. So let's have a look inside. Here we are, up the ramp, and we'll get the keys. Have a look in the building. Now look, here is the foyer. Now this was built much later, in 1990. We added this wall in the foyer here, and this is the hall, and this is the parish office, and then we come over here into the building. Now this has not been open in quite some time, and we cleared all the space, so we've got a nice area where we can gather together as community. That's what we're thinking about today. So this is our church, and you've all probably been here. And this was built so that people could come and gather together and give thanks to God. We've got the arches here and all these columns that support this roof. We've got these beautiful stained glass windows, and all the stained glass windows tell a story. They were like really old comic strips. Now come up here towards the altar, and this is the organ. We don't tend to play that. Now we have guitars and keyboards and electric drums, and there's a wonderful, wonderful image now. It's quite hard to see, but right at the top there, we have the figure. That's Jesus there. He's being worshipped. There's angels all around him, worshipping him in heaven after his resurrection. And then you've got his followers here, and his mother, Mary, and you've got other disciples there, and they're all there. And look at all those eyes are on Jesus, worshipping him. Those angels are saying, holy, holy. Pretty impressive stuff. And then coming through here, there's all these rooms here. There's even a tower that goes all the way up, and you can see out over Sea Mills. That's pretty cool. We're coming down here. This is the back. And this is the baptism font. So since we're thinking about buildings and bricks today, I want to see if you can find some Jenga blocks or some dominoes. I don't know if you've ever had some fun knocking them over. So we built a couple of things here in church, and we're going to try and have fun with dominoes. So let's have a look and see. See if you can do a bit more impressive than that. So churches are pretty amazing buildings, aren't they? Like, how on earth did they just get all these bricks here? And they stand here for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and they're amazing places for community. But you know what? There's no mention of churches in the Bible. Isn't that crazy? And every time Jesus was asked about this amazing building called the Temple in Jerusalem, he reminded them that his church is not going to be about these bricks. Instead, he used this metaphor. He says that when Jesus went to be with his Father in heaven and he'd send his Holy Spirit, and we talked about that last time in Pentecost, he'd said that all of us, he used this metaphor, are going to be like living stones because his Holy Spirit was going to be in us. It wasn't going to be confined anymore to a special place like this. That's an amazing thought, that every follower of Jesus was going to be like a living stone, collectively creating this community all the way around the world. That's what it means to be community. It's not about the bricks. So that means church is not a building. Isn't that amazing? Church is not a building. I keep telling my congregation we don't go to church, although we come to this building, but we are church all the way through the week. And that's because we use this metaphor that Jesus told us, that we're living stones. So it's not about the building, although buildings are great and they're amazing for community, and we can't wait to get back here and worship and laugh together and cry together and eat together and share life together. But actually, wherever we go, God goes with us because he's with us by his Holy Spirit. We're his living stones. That's a cool thought. Now, we're going to build a house of prayer. And if you want to make this your prayer, say a big amen at the end. So let's build a house of prayer. 1 brick, 2 bricks, 3 bricks, 4 bricks. Put on a roof, open the door, find a nice, quiet place, and we'll pray. Dear God, thank you for each of our families, for community, for our wonderful school, and teachers, and parents, and carers, and brothers and sisters. Thank you that you want us all to be part of your big family. Thank you for your Holy Spirit that can live inside us to help us and to guide us. Amen. See you next time.